Hello everybody, welcome to YouTube. This is my Fluffal deck profile post Fusion Enforcers. Now as we see, we got the Kraken and we got the new nice supers for the Fluffals. So let's get right into it. Alright, first you're gonna want to run 3 Fluffal dogs. Now dog is your searcher of the deck. When he's normal or special summoned, he's able to search Fluffal card or an Edgem Sabers. Now depending on your play or your combo, you either want to get Edgem Sabers to complete a fusion, or you can get Wings so you can drop them with Toy Vendor, or you can get Bear to get Toy Vendor. You can get Penguin if you want to use his effect. You know, dog is a must at 3. He's going to be able to get you any Fluffal that you need at the moment. So he's the searcher. The next one is the new addition to the Fluffals, and I just mentioned Fluffal Penguin. You're gonna run Fluffal Penguin. I like running him at 2. You can run him at 3 if you choose, but so far with playtesting it's been really good at 2. So Fluffal Penguin's effect is during your main phase, you can special summon one other Fluffal from your hand except Fluffal Penguin. So what's great about Fluffal Penguin is if you have Fluffal Penguin and Dog in your hand, it's just amazing. You get the Fluffal Penguin, you get the Fluffal Dog, and then Dog gets his effect to search, and then you can do like a rank 4 Exceed or whatnot. And he's a water, so it gives you access to cards like Totally Awesome and Bahamut Shark, which I don't run in this build, but I have tried it out. It is good. It's just not my playstyle. So his other effect is when he's used as a fusion material for a fusion summon or Frifer monster, you can draw 2 cards and then discard 1 card. And that's great because that thins out the deck. You can drop something like Chain or Wings to the grave or Toy Vendor and just get 2 more cards in your hand if you're trying to get rid of something else. So Fluffal Penguin at 2 is great. Also, I run 2 Fluffal Bear. Now Fluffal Bear, his only thing that you're really going to use him for is dropping him in the grave for Toy Vendor. So from hand, you can discard him to the grave and search a Toy Vendor out from your deck and then set it directly onto the field. I don't really use Fluffal Bear for anything else. But I run them at 2 because it's very easy to have the Toy Vendor in your hand, and having Fluffal Bear at 3, and if you open up with Toy Vendor, it's kind of dead. So I like running him at 2. And he's been pretty good. I run the 1 Fluffal Owl. Fluffal Owl's effect is when he's normal special summoned, you can get a polymerization from your deck to your hand. And I only run him at 1 because you can get poly so easy in this deck. It's ridiculous. But his second effect is also you can pay 500 life points and then fusion summon a Frifer monster from your hand, from your extra deck using cards from your hand or field as fusion material. So he acts as polymerization if you pay 500. You're normally not going to because you usually have a way to special summon a fusion summon, I mean, with polymerization. But it's good to have that as a backup. Also, another one-off is a new card, Fluffal Octopus. I'm still trying him out. So far he's been doing good in the deck. His effect is when it's normal special summon, you can target 1 Fluffal or Edgem monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. I always find that great to extend combos. If I want to bring back Edgem Sabers and then use that, or if I want to bring back a dog for next turn, so I can get another search, or Penguin for the same thing. He's just a really good card. Also, when he's used as a fusion material for a fusion summon of a Frifer monster, you can target up to 2 of your banished monsters and return them to the graveyard. And that's good because Wings banishes and Frifer fusion banishes, so you can get some monsters back into the graveyard and then use them for another Frifer fusion, or usually just for that, or to bring back a monster using Fluffal Rabbit. Now I run 1 Fluffal Rabbit Fluffal Rabbit is good, really only to use as a fusion material. But his effect is when this card is sent to the graveyard as a fusion material for a fusion summon, you can target Edgem Sabers or Fluffal in your graveyard except Fluffal Rabbit and add it to your hand. And then that's good because you can extend your combos, or you can have a card for next turn, just like the Fluffal Octopus, but instead it goes to your hand. I also run one Fluffal Sheep. Fluffal Sheep special summons if I control a Fluffal monster. So if you have a dog and you want to save dog for next turn, you can special summon the Fluffal Sheep, and then you can get an Edgem Sabers from your grave and then bounce the dog back into your hand. So Fluffal Sheep is good because he can help extend combos, and he's just really good at 1. I wouldn't play him any higher than that, but it's all up to personal preference. Now Fluffal Wings, I run at 2. This guy wins games. Fluffal Wings, if you have Toy Vendor on the field, you're going to want Fluffal Wings in grave. Now Fluffal Wings effect is, if it's in the graveyard and you control Toy Vendor, you can banish this card and one other Fluffal from your graveyard and then draw a card. Then you can send Toy Vendor to the graveyard, draw another card, and then Toy Vendor's effect activates and you get a search. So having the Toy Vendor Fluffal Wings combo is so good in this deck. It's ridiculous. It gets you more cards in your hand, and it gets you a search for Toy Vendor. So running him at 2 is really good. Now, I also run 3 Fluffal Mouse. Now Fluffal Mouse is good when he's normal or special summoned. During the main phase, you can special summon up to 2 copies of Fluffal Mouse from your deck. So you basically normal 1, and then you get 2 more from the deck. And that's basically fusion fodder for your Frifers. And it gets easy Sabertooth out. It gets it makes Tiger more alive. It makes Wolf have more attack. You know, it's always the best thing to ever happen is to have Toy Vendor, discard for Toy Vendor, and then top deck the Fluffal Mouse. And it's just so good when you special summon all 3 of them. Now, that's it for the Frifers. For the Edgems, I run 3 Edgem Chain. Now, Edgem Chain is, I feel like he's the better Edgem monster, just because when you send him to the grave, if it's a fusion or if you discard him for Toy Vendor, he's able to search up a Frifer card from the deck. Now the Fluffals search Fluffal monsters or Edgem Sabers, but Edgem Chain searches Frifer monsters, so you can search for Frifer Fusion or Frifer Factory, or if you run Frifer March, all those cards you can search with the Edgem Chain. And his other effect, which I don't really use, is if he declares an attack, you can add another Edgem Chain from your deck to your hand. So Edgem Chain is really good. You also use him for Sheep and Kraken. To round out the Edgem monsters, I run 2 Edgem Sabers. I don't really see a need to run him at 3 because he's so easy to bring back. His effect is if he's in the grave, you can place 1 card from your hand to the top of the deck and then special summon him in defense. Now that's great if you combine it with Toy Vendor, because Toy Vendor, if you top deck a Fluffal, you can special summon it. So you can use Edgem Saber's effect in grave, put a Fluffal on the top of your deck, special summon him in defense, and then activate Toy Vendor. So when you top deck, it's a Fluffal and you know you can special summon it, and then you get automatic effect. And it's just a plus. And he's the main Edgem to use for the fusions. Now, another card I run is 3 King of the Swamp. King of the Swamp is great because you dump him into the grave for poly. He's instant poly and he's also a fusion substitute. He can only work for Tiger and Sheep as a fusion substitute. But can he work for Wolf? Yeah, and he go. Okay, yeah, no, he can only. So he's good with Frifer Tiger and Frifer Sheep. He could technically be used for Wolf, but just the way it's worded, it doesn't really work that way. So, but the real reason you run 3 King to Swamp is to drop it for instant poly. And you're going to need polymerization. And speaking of polymerization, you have to run 3 polys. And because of the new set, we have the OG polys now. 3 polymerizations, super important. That's the main card that has support in the deck. You know, you can search it with King of the Swamp. I also run Fusion Recovery so I can get it back. And you just need 3 polymerizations. Very important. The other main card of the set is Toy Vendor. Now, Toy Vendor can be searched with Fluffal Bear, as I said earlier. And its effect is once per turn you can discard 1 card, draw 1 card, and show it. If it's a Fluffal monster, you can special summon that monster from your hand. Otherwise, discard the card you drew. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Edgem Sabers or 1 Fluffal monster from your deck to your hand. Now, one of the cards that I don't run in this deck that I probably will try playing with is the new card Foolish Burial Goods. And that card is once you can get a spell trap from your deck and then send it to the graveyard. And that's really great for Toy Vendor because once Toy Vendor goes to grave, it gets effect and then you get search. So 3 Toy Vendor. I also run 3 Fright for Fusion. This is the card that you're going to want to look for when you drop Edgem Chain into the grave. And this is just as good as Poly in this deck because its effect is fusion summon 1 Fright for Fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion monsters listed on it from your field or graveyard. You can only activate once per turn. So an easy combo to do is to polymerization into Tiger, and then once you poly into Tiger, you pop their field, and then you Fright for Fusion, and you use those same materials that you use for Fright for Tiger to get Fright for Wolf, and then you'll TK. That's like the most simple combo that you can do with Fright for Fusion. Now, another Fright for card for the deck is 1 Fright for Factory. Fright for Factory is a continuous spell. You can banish 1 polymerization spell card or fusion spell card. So that means Fright for Fusion, or if you run like Fusion Substitute or whatnot. And you can fusion summon 1 Fright for monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or side of the field as fusion materials. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished Fright for Fusions and add it to your hand. So this is good because you can also, just like Fright for Fusion, you can extend combos with Fright for Factory. So if you activate polymerization, you can banish that same polymerization, and then you can fusion from your hand or field again. And that could give you Sabertooth, or it can give you Kraken or any other fusion card that you have access to at that moment. I also run 2 instant fusion. I would run 3 if I was running the Totally Awesome build, because then you get Norden, Bahamut Shark, Totally Awesome, and then that's your field. But I like running 2 instant fusion just because if I don't want Elder Entity Norden to get a level 4 Exceed, then I can use him for Sheep, and then Sheep is easy fodder for Sabertooth, and then Sabertooth brings back the Sheep, and it's just too good. And for the one-offs for the spell, 1 Fusion Recovery. Fusion Recovery simply target 1 polymerization and a fusion material that was used for a fusion summon in your graveyard, add them to your hand. This is really good after doing a fusion, and you just get the material back and you get a poly, and it just extends combos, and it's really good. Also, I run the 1 Raigeki and the 1 Twin Twisters. I only run 1 trap in this deck, and that's Vanity's Emptiness. It's just really good. Once you have 2 fusions or 3 fusions on the field, you just set this, draw phase, standby, Vanities. You know, there's not much most decks can do with Vanities. Going into the extra deck, we have the new addition to the Fryfers, is Fryfer Kraken. And Kraken is really accessible, because all you need is one Edgent monster and one Fluffal monster. So it doesn't have to be Chain, doesn't have to be Sabers. Sometimes in the deck, you're going to want to go into Tiger, or you're going to want to go into a specific Fryfer, and you don't have the correct Edgent monster. So it's really good that Fryfer Kraken just needs any of them. And he's just super easy to get out. His effect is, once per turn you can target one monster your opponent controls and send it to the graveyard. This card cannot attack directly the turn this effect is activated. This card can also make a second attack during each battle phase. Once per turn at the end of the battle phase of this card battled, you can change this card to defense position. So this card is really good. This card is, it just helps the deck OTK even more. Even more than it already had. So you get him out, you can take out a problematic monster with its effect, and then it can't attack directly, but it can still attack the opponent's monsters. And with 2200, you can beef him up with Sabertooth, you can beef him up with Tiger, or I run Abyss Dweller, and Abyss Dweller beefs up water monsters by 500, and he could just beat over other monsters. And then after that, he just goes to defense, and he has 3000 defense. So he's really good. He's a really safe monster to have out on the field. And if you don't use his effect, his first effect, you can just hit directly for 4400. And if that could be game whenever he's out. Also, I run 2 Sabertooth. Fryfer Sabertooth is super good. If you... Well, his effect is, when this card is fusion summoned, you can target a Fryfer monster in your graveyard and special summon it. All Fryfer monsters on the field that you control gain 400 attack. If this card was fusion summoned using 3 or more monsters, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So this can help you build a wall if you're trying to stall, but usually he's just a 28 beater when he comes out, and if you use 3 fusions, then he can't be destroyed with battle or card effects. So he has to be targeted by a Castell or something, and usually the opponent doesn't have an out when he's out. So he's really strong, and he brings back a Fryfer monster, so he can bring back Tiger or Sheep or Kraken or any of the Fryfers that you use for fusion summoning him, and then he just brings it back. Sabertooth is really good. I used to run him at 3, but with Kraken out, I had to bring him back down to 2. And another 2 of is Fryfer Tiger. He's probably one of the most important Fryfer that you run in the deck. His effect is, when this card is fusion summoned, you can target cards on the field up to the number of fusion materials used for it and destroy them. All Fryfer monsters you control gain 300 for each Fluffal and Fryfer monster you control. You can only control 1 Fryfer Tiger. People forget that a lot. You can only have 1 on the field at a given time. So you have to watch out for that also. But he's super strong. If the opponent has 3 cards on the field or 4 cards, you can just use 3 materials or 4 materials and then destroy them all. And if you have 2 Fryfer monsters, or like a Fluffal and a Fryfer, then he's beefing for each one, including himself. So that'd be 3, 6, 900, and then everyone gets boosted up by 900, all the Fryfer monsters. So Fryfer Tiger easily gets your monsters up to 4000 at certain times, and he's the main man. He's the one that gives you the OTKs. His partner in crime is Fryfer Wolf. Fryfer Wolf, for the amount of fusion materials that you use for a fusion summon of Fryfer Wolf, he can attack that many times. So, like I said, if you're using 4 materials for Tiger and you pop 4 cards, they have an open field, you Fryfer Fusion for Fryfer Wolf, you use those same 4 materials, he can now attack 4 times, he has 2000 attack, and that's pretty much game. Unless they, have an out, but usually they don't. You just attack, and then it's GG's. Another important Fryfer that I run is Fryfer Sheep. This is the instant fusion target. Also, he's the one that requires Edgem Chain and a Fluffal monster, and he has an Armades effect. So if he battles or it is battled by an opponent's monster, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. So this card is really good against Cosmos, really good against Utopia the Lightning, cards like that. He has 2000 attack, but once per turn, if he's destroyed by your opponent's battle of card effects, he goes to the grave, and then you can special summon him again from the grave with 800 more attack. So usually if they have a 2500 monster or a strong monster like that, you can attack with the Fluffal Sheep. It'll go to grave, you'll take 500, and then it'll come back with 2800, and then he's able to attack again because he's considered a new monster. So you can do that with Fluffal Sheep, and then he's just really good. He's really annoying. That's why I love him. The one Elder Entity Northern for instant fusion, really good to get your level 4s out. You have Fluffal Penguin and Fluffal Dog for rank 4 plays, so that's really good. For the rank 4s, I have Castell, the Sky Blaster Musketeer, really good to get problematic cards out of the way and shuffle them back into the deck. I also have Gagaga Cowboy. Have used him to burn for the 800 to win games, and that's really good. Also, one Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller is really good because he doesn't allow your opponent to use their graveyard for the remainder of the turn. And also his other effect is he can boost up a water monster by 500 attack, and then that's when Kraken's on the field. If you used Fluffal Penguin for the rank 4 or Elder Entity Northern for the rank 4, then the Exceed material is water, and then you're allowed to use the effect. Boost up the Kraken by 500. Kraken's now 2700, and he can attack twice. So it's just really good to have Abyss Dweller. Also, you have access to rank 8 plays because of Sabretooth and Kraken. So I run one number 23 Lancelot, so he can attack directly for 2000. Also, he has the negate effect, which is really good. It's a mandatory effect, so you have to watch out for that. He can also negate your own spells and whatnot, so just be wary of that. He's usually a main phase 2 monster unless you're attacking with him. But usually for negation, you're gonna want to put down Hope Harbinger Dragon. And Hope Harbinger is just too good. If you can get Hope Harbinger on the field, it just helps you a lot. Most decks have trouble with Harbinger, and he's just really easy to take out with the monsters. And that's pretty much for the deck profile. If you have your own build that you want to share, if you have suggestions for me, or if you like my build, please say so in the comments. I know the Fluffals and Fluffals have new monsters coming out, and I'm extremely excited for that. But thanks for watching. If you like my content, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.